You don't get goosebumps when you read this?
No.
It doesn't make you proud of your father?
No.
Not at all?
No.
You know, your father was one of almost 2 million Jews, Eastern European Jews, who came to this country between 1880 and 1920.
So? So he's one. He's one of 2 million. Big deal. They came to America because they were told the streets were paved with gold.
Were they paved with gold for your father?
No, hardly. You were saying my father was a typical immigrant? Why does he get a typical immigrant who was a success? What did he become? A tailor?
Your grandfather had hoped that your father would have succeeded here and then been able to bring all of the family from Poland to this country. So in effect, your father very much disappointed his father.
Well, this is not the first time or the last time that a son ever disappointed his father.
Your father never saw his family again?
Never. But I will tell you this about my father. My father was a brain. My father was an intelligent man. Not always does intelligence go with a complete personality.
Benjamin Berliner was a very stubborn, tough, strong, domineering individual.
I think he scared me a little bit. When one got to Grandma's house, when one went into the bedroom, kissed Grandpa hello, and usually didn't see him again until one was leaving and went into the bedroom and kissed him goodbye.
His father was a very unfriendly man. I don't think I have ever said more than 2 words to him when I was first introduced to the family. He was a loner. He always had a long face. I don't think he ever smiled.
I don't think any cousin will ever tell you that Benjamin Berliner picked them up and hugged them or said he loved them. Any cousin. I would venture to say he never did it with his children. That's a very cold man.
We are a different breed, say from your mother's family, with all the hugging and kissing and all that crap. The Berliners are not that way.
I remember my Aunt Bee, when I would come to Florida to see her, I would come bouncing out of the taxi, you know, ready for a big hug, and she would say to me with her arms like this, "I'm so glad to see you." And that was the end of it. Finished, no hug, no kiss. You know, and then when I would leave, I would get this little peck on the cheek.
His mother, on the contrary, was the life of the family. And she made everything good. She made everything happy.
She was a nice little old lady.
She used to sit in one particular chair. She had terribly bowed legs.
This little woman, you have to understand what a giant she was. 11 children, 7 boys and 4 girls. I was number 10 of 11. I never for 1 minute doubted my mother's love, affection, care, and concern for me. Think my love for you and Lynn. Where did that come from? My father? My father had nothing to do with this when I was a kid. It was my mother. The love that I have, I'm able to express for my children, to my children. I think I inherited from my mother.
There were 13 live births, but only 11 children lived to adulthood.
Do you know what they died of? Do you know any of the circumstances?
No, I don't.
Why don't you ask your father?
Tell me why.
I don't want to talk about it.
Tell me why you don't want to talk about it.
I want to know the next question, and that's it. That's it. Well, the interview was over.
Is it that something?
The interview is going to be over soon.
Why are you doing this?
I'm telling you.
Why?
I'm telling you.
Why?
It proves nothing, and it means nothing. You're talking about something I know nothing about. I don't remember witnessing, and nothing. Don't push me.
All right, I'm not pushing.
Let it go.
By the way, I was just curious. What's your parents' wedding anniversary?
Never knew it.
They were married more than 50 years.
I never knew it.
You never went to a wedding anniversary party of your own parents?
You can't jog my memory because I never knew it.
How about your birthday? What's your date of birth?
November 1st,
What year?
1919.
Well, get ready for this. The 1920 census says quite precisely that in 1920, you were 2 7/12 years old.
So what do you want me to do?
You might actually be older than you think you are.
Well, I'd rather be younger. But actually, at this point in my life, it doesn't make a damn bit of difference.
Do you remember your mother's birthday?
I can't remember because I never knew it.
I know my mother's birthday.
Alan, what does that prove? That proves nothing.
How about your father's birthday?
I have no idea.
Never knew.
Never knew. We never talked about birthdays. We never celebrated birthdays. They came and they went. Nobody paid attention to it. We were in the throes of a depression, and things were tight and tough. In all my years, I can't remember once, except maybe for my bar mitzvah, I don't remember any birthdays at all. What are we doing now?
I want to look at some of the Army pictures.
I was served in the Army. Big deal. 11 million men served in the Army. You could make me a big hero. Maybe I won the war by myself. I came to Japan in a matter of days after the dropping of the atom bomb. And all the time I was in Japan for almost a year, I was never into a Jap home.
It's Japanese. Don't say Jap.
We call it my name. Well, you see, it's hard for me to discuss it with you because I was a soldier with the conquering army, and these were the fucking enemy, and you're telling me to treat them with kid gloves. You don't ever think of them as the perpetrators of Pearl Harbor. How that son of a bitches did to us at Pearl Harbor while they were talking peace in Washington. You never think about that.
We punish them for that terribly. I'm just saying truth.
And I want to tell you something. You will not now, not ever, get me to approach Japanese the way you do.
You were champions. It's a championship team.
This group was part of my life. I can relate to them. I've forgotten a lot of their names, but I can relate to them.
You can relate to your Army buddies more than you can relate to your own grandparents?
Yes, absolutely, no question about it. I lived with these guys 7 days a week, and we were training to kill or be killed. I think until the day I die, I'll never forget about them.
You've said to me that the war years were the best years of your life.
No question about it. I had a special deal with the Army. Because I had a high IQ, I was able to get out of the infantry.
How do you know you had a high IQ?
I was told.
What was your IQ?
130, 140.
That's almost genius status. No, I'm
I'm no
serious.
genius. I always thought of myself as being relatively smart, but brilliant, no. Hey. Yeah, these are the days when I was looking good.
You kind of look like you're on top of the world in these pictures.
Oh, yeah. Hey, I own the world. I was a handsome young man.
Looks like you had a pretty active social life.
Oh, yeah. And all the women I wanted. All.
Were you ever serious with her?
No, I had a good time with her, but I was serious with her.
I mean, it's clear that you're having a romantic relationship with her.
No question about it.
Yes or no? Did you ever spend the night with her?
The answer is no. Can you move on to something else? Do you want to talk baseball?
I just want the truth.
Forget about the truth.
Why?
Get off that subject. Well, I don't want to talk about it. I'm your father. Forget about it. What am I, a buddy of yours, a braggart? I'm your father. It's an area of respect. If you can imagine, fine. If not, forget about it.
I was hoping I'd have a chance to hear you sing a little bit.
I'm not much of a singer.
Well, try anyway.
Gonna take a sentimental journey. Gonna set my heart at ease. Gonna make a sentimental journey to renew old memories. I went out with a lot of girls, and they all left me with something to be desired.
Non, rien de rien. Non, je ne regrette rien. Ni le bien.
I met your mother.
I was foreign.
She was an Egyptian.
I was Sephardic.
She was young.
I spoke many languages.
She was very pretty.
I was involved in the theater.
She was very entertaining. Not at all like these other ones I'm talking about.
I was different beyond his realm of comprehension, Alan.
She was so different, it was not even apples and oranges, because apples and oranges are fruit.
One of the first things he told me when I met him was, never mention that I had been in the French theater. The family would not appreciate it.